Hi everyone, and welcome to get out of the way, dogs. Alright, let's do this. Here we go, yes. Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Raw, or Alone Tonight Raw. I, Tony Schiavone, Trini Kwan, and Corey Graves here. And today on Monday Night Raw, or Alone Tonight Raw, we are going to see the World Heavyweight Fighter here. Today we're going to see Drew McIntyre and him having his match with Cobra Commander, or Snakehead. As you know, Drew McIntyre did have a match with Cobra Commander, or Snakehead, before. You know, suppose saying he's the world's greatest fear striker. But at the end of the day, there is no great one. Well, that's right, Trini Kwan said. I don't know why Cobra Commander or Snakehead or whatever the English word would be for that. You know, English words would be for that. I can tell you what, he's not that cool, you know, at all. Trini Kwan said, being a follower of the 4-1 Bonds of Evil, being a warlord and a fear striker is not good. Hey, he brings class and on-look to being a fear striker, Corey Graves says. And we all know he's not a true fear striker or a true warlord, you know. Because no true fear striker or warlord will look anything like him, Corey Graves says. You know, from the last time anyone saw me, I was getting shamed and I was getting beat by Drew McIntyre. Which at the end of the day, I did not think was right. So many of us over evil do. So many of us followers of the 4-1 Bonds of Evil, you know, always seem to get buried. Always, you know, always seem to get buried all the time, and I don't know why. But I tell you, I will not lose another match, or not lose another wrestling match here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering. Well, Drew McIntyre goes, so you're Cobra Commander. You're the Snakehead. You're the greatest fear striker. You're the one that the G.I. Joes always had a bind with in their films, in their drawing show, in their funny books, or wherever else Hasbro has made that from. And you want to know why you get buried? Why you get besmirched? Because you're evil, because you're a sinner, a outlaw, a evildoer. That's why you get buried. You to talk, Drew McIntyre. You're a sinner too. Yes, all men and women are sinners, that's true. But very few of us go from only being sinners to being outlaws, and you do things that are also sinful and also unlawful too. So now you think you're greater than me. I didn't say I was greater than you at all. But if you want to have a match here today on Friday nights, you want to have a match today on Monday Night Raw or Alone Tonight Raw, then by all means, be my guest. Alright, Astronomer says. So, Cobra Commander, you always call yourself the greatest of all fear strikers out there. Yeah, well, so does every other warlord and fear striker out there. like to call themselves the greatest warlord or fear striker to ever live. Yeah, and you are a follower to 4-1 Bonds of Evil. Now anyway, I don't really care about all of that. What I'm here today to make a match, since Drew McIntyre seems to wants to wrestle you and he wants to fight you. So here today, I'm going to make that happen. So today, Astronema goes, you will have Cobra Commander, whatever the snake head, I guess, taking on Drew McIntyre. And this match happens right now, here today, on Monday Night Raw, on Alone Night Raw. And Ecliptor says, we should do something about his staff or his stick he has in his hand. He might do something that's unlawful or sinful with it. Ecliptor goes, oh yeah, Astronema says, and you can't work your staff or your stick on Drew McIntyre. If you do that, then a match is thrown out. Well, that's not fair, Astronema. That's not fair, Ecliptor. You know Hasbro made my staff, and it has to be in my hand like it was in the films, and the drawing shows, and the funny books, and all that. I know that staff comes out of your hand smoothly. Astronema goes, I know that. We're both Hasbro dolls. I know that you could take your staff and your stick out of your hand more smoothly than I could take my staff, my stick out of my hand. I got a forgiveness. You don't got that same forgiveness. So no, you don't work the staff, you don't work the stick. And Ecliptor goes, we all might, but both of us, we all three might be Hasbro dolls, but that's the only thing we have to the same. And you being a follower to 4-1 Bonds of Evil, that's it. And Drew McIntyre, well, he's a Mattel doll, and he wants to wrestle, he wants to fight, and we're not going to blow anyone else's time, Ecliptor goes. Alright, Astronema says, the match is on. Well, we just heard from Ecliptor and Astronema. We heard from Astronema, the matchmaker, you know, and the main overseer of the TW. We heard from Astronema, the matchmaker, and the main overseer of the TWF. Tony Schiavone said that we're going to see Cobra Commander fighting Drew McIntyre here today on Monday Night Raw, or Alone Night Raw. Now the Fight Lord has gotten in the ring, though. Well, how can it be fair? Cobra Commander should have this. He got a staff. He's got a stick. Corey Graves said, he could work it. Corey Graves says, well, Tony Schiavone, I'll tell you right now, Trini Kwan said, it's not a hard made match. It's a non-oversight match. So if he works it, the match is thrown out. And Drew McIntyre, Trini Kwan says, Drew McIntyre just Claymore kicked it down. The Cobra Commander, or Snakehead, or whatever the English words for his name is. Corey Graves says, he's taking the staff out. He's got his staff out. Drew McIntyre took his staff. He just had him knocked him down with it. Tony Schiavone says, how is that fair? How is that fair? Corey Graves said, that should be a throw out. Future shot DDT, Tony Schiavone said, I don't know, the Fight Lord or the Match Keeper, he's letting it go. Tony Schiavone said, well, I don't know. Trini Kwan said, need be the Match Keeper didn't see Drew McIntyre hit him with the staff or the sword. He did see him with the staff or the stick. Corey Graves says, well, I don't know, Trini Kwan said. Why don't you go take that up with Astronema then? Take it up with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Take it up with Xena. Or someone in upper leadership of the toy wrestling gathering. Trini Kwan says, Corey Graves, since you're making a big deal out of it, since it irks you. Well, Tony Schiavone said, lawful or not, it happened, and the fight and the match keeper did not throw the match out after it happened. Tony Schiavone said, here it comes. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Drew McIntyre. And now Drew McIntyre is going to be so kind to give him back his staff. And now the fight. He just gave him back his staff now. And then he just Claymore kicked it down. Cobra Commander again, Tony Schiavone says. Well, Trini Kwan said that's what you get for being a fear striker. That's what you get for being a warlord and an outlaw. Trini Kwan said. I guess Tony Schiavone said that's what you get for being sinful and unlawful. Tony Schiavone says, hey, what are you going around scathing Cobra Commander or Snakehead for being sinful and unlawful, for being a sinner and an outlaw, for being a warlord and a fear striker? Where do you get off scathing him? Where do you get off dooming him? You know? Corey Graves says, Tony and Trini, where are you getting off guilting him? Where do you get off scathing him? Well, Tony Schiavone said at the end of the day, I was scathing him for being a warlord and a fear striker and an outlaw and a sinner. But then all men and women are sinners, but very few men become outlaws. Or very few men and women become outlaws and warlords and fear strikers. That's right, Trini Kwan said, we're all sinners, but very few of us become outlaws, which is worse. Trini Kwan said. Oh yeah, Corey Graves said, oh yeah. You know, you think you're so great. Drew McIntyre beating up Cobra Commander or Snakehead, and everyone thinks it's cool. Well, standing by now is Michael Cole. Thank you, Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Cobra Commander or Snakehead here today on Monday Night Raw or Alone Tonight Raw. We know that your run in the TWF hasn't gone very well. No, my run in the TWF didn't go good at all, Michael Cole. I came to the TWF need be the 5th month or the 6th month, and since then I've been shamed, guilted, buried, shamed and scathed for being a warlord and a fear striker, for being an outlaw and a sinner. Well, first off, yeah, you're not only a sinner, but you're an outlaw, because being a fear striker and being out and a warlord is not only sinful but unlawful too. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about how your run in the TWF didn't go well. Yeah, and someone's burying me, someone's shaming me, someone's besmirching me, and I don't know who it is. It could be those Hell with G.I. Joe followers. Well, we never got any of them. Next time we go to Big Lots, we will. Oh no! The next time you go to Big Lots, don't get them. Because I have dealt with the G.I. Joes, or whatever the English word for that is, for years. So you think it's someone from them who's got it out for you. Or someone that doesn't like me for being a warlord and a fear striker and an outlaw and a sinner. Well, anyway, Michael Cole says, I don't know anyone who has it out for you. You know, if you feel that way, you should take it up with upper leadership. I think I'll do that. Because I think someone in upper leadership of the toy wrestling gathering has it out for me, Michael Cole. Well, That's my talk with Cobra Commander or Snakehead. Back to you, Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Michael Cole, for talking of Cobra Commander or Snakehead here today on Alone Tonight Raw. And that is all the time we got here for Alone Tonight Raw. I, Tony Schiavone, Trini Kwan, and Corey Graves, we hope you like Monday Night Raw or Alone Tonight Raw, and we'll see you tomorrow for NXT.